Estate agents in London made more than £1 billion in fees last year, with the amount charged to some borrowers going up by more than 50%. That means more people are selling their homes on the internet instead of paying fees to traditional high street agents. Well, Charlotte Grant has been speaking to one of those so fed up, she's moved online.
They come in all shapes and sizes, but the way we buy and sell our homes is now changing too. For Jane Brown, when it came to selling the family home, she was put off by the commission high street estate agents were charging. So she went online to avoid paying a £7,000 fee.
Because obviously we've got a young family, we were looking at having another child, so that amount of money is a lot of money. So we wanted to get a bigger house, and we could put that into the bigger house, which we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So, yeah, we certainly wouldn't have been able to buy this house if we'd had to pay that amount of money in agents' fees.
While house prices in the capital have continued to rise, estate agent fees have also increased. New research shows estate agents made more than £1 billion in commission last year. In 2014, the average profit for estate agents was £9,000 per house sale. And borough by borough, estate agents in Kensington and Chelsea topped the list, earning £73 million in commission. But the area with the biggest rise in agent fees was Newham, with an increase of 55%. And those championing going online believe it can only help shake up the housing market.
The key thing is presentation, good photographs. A lot of high street agents don't do that very well. The next thing, and probably even more important, is exposure of the property. We put it on 700 websites, including the biggest names, the most well-known brands. And actually you go to a high street estate agent, and these days a lot of them aren't using all of the biggest names.
But those on the high street believe an online deal isn't always the best value for money.
When you're dealing with an agent who actually adds value to the process, they will do a lot. Before the process, they'll make sure it's valued properly, it's prepared, the property is prepared for marketing, it shows well, it's marketed properly, and when an offer comes in, it's a fair offer and it's backed up by cash and proper mortgage.
The Brown family are pleased with their online experience, but believe regardless of how you do it, it's just about finding the best possible deal for your home. Charlotte Grant, ITv News.
Well, joining me now is Henry Pryor, who's a property expert. Thank you so much for coming in. Estate agents seem to certainly be raking it in, aren't they?
Well, estate agents are running businesses, and across the whole of the UK, last year, we think the most official sounding figures we have is that 2.2 billion was the fee income. London, of course, is the centre of property inflation, so not surprising that we find that London estate agents are doing well. Although the figures in the package we've just seen, I think, will come as a surprise to some agents, because as the market has got more competitive, so have vendors, and they, as the clients of these estate agents, have been hammering them down on their fee commission. So I wouldn't think that many of them have been making quite the sums that are being talked about.
Well, I have a figure here. It says that if a fifth of sellers sold online, they would collectively have saved £210 million in fees. So it seems to make financial sense to not haggle with estate agents when it comes to fees, just do it online.
Well, online agents and the spectre of the internet has been hanging over the property industry for several years now. Understandably, it was going to arrive as it's done for online auctions, dating and everything else. So it's not a surprise to find them there, and they are bringing innovation with them. However, do remember that you pay an online agent almost invariably to list the property, not if they sell it. The great thing about estate agents, remember there's no law in this country that says you have to use an estate agent, although 90% of people do, is that you only pay them on results. Now, it's not a figure that estate agents often talk about, but they only sell across the UK roughly 50% of what they market.
Yeah.
If you then take the sums and do them slightly differently, taking the average price of a house in the UK, according to the Land Registry, at £170,000, the average fee for an estate agent across the country is only £2,500. If you've paid an online agent £1,000, you pay that, as I say, regardless of whether he sells it or not.
Well, just 2% of us at the moment are actually using the internet in order to be able to sell homes, and that's no doubt going to increase the next few years. And so I guess what people really want to know is it safe?
Well, Anyone who calls himself an estate agent, describes himself as an estate agent, and is in the business of introducing people who want to buy, sell, rent, or let, is defined certainly on the selling and buying side as an estate agent by something benignly called the Estate Agents Act. That means that as a result they have to be signed up to a redress code. There are 3 ombudsmen for property estate agency business. So if something goes wrong, you have a form of redress. But it's only there if there is a problem. What the industry has been crying out for many years is some tougher regulation, but successive governments have always fought shy of doing that.
And the reality is, though, is we have to move with the times, isn't it? So more of us are going to end up doing these sorts of sales online.
Well, estate agents themselves recognise the importance of online and the internet. A group of them, a London-based group of estate agents, has just set up at the end of January a brand new portal to rival Rightmove and Zoopla, who are the big giants on the internet at the moment. They hope that onthemarket.com is going to provide that alternative. But a word of warning, online agents at the present time have been banned from that particular website. So if you instruct an online agent, it won't appear on that new, shiny website.
OK. Well, Henry, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.